All right, welcome back for the first of the live Taking Notes with Dr. Jon Carroll on YouTube podcast. And I am so excited that my first guest is a do everything performer, philanthropist, teacher, life coach, sister friend, badass workout demon, the great Maud Arnold of the Syncopated Ladies, coming up next on Taking Notes with Dr. Jon Carroll. Stay tuned. Okay, so DC Tap Fest shows you and your sister that you guys can be successful entrepreneurs. You have this thing. Clearly that idea is taking off. How soon does the foundation come into when you get real corporate?
So that was 2009. We got our foundation paperwork in 2013. I did it by myself. When I look back, and also it was at the time when it was all paper. I faxed it in. Mm-hmm. And what reminded me is because this week, my attorney, shout out one of my best friends from college, Nikki Kerman, who is our pro bono attorney and for our foundation. And she's just the best because she has helped us so much with the foundation, is that she needed my original 1023. And I was like, girl, it's paper. Like, I got to find this. I was so proud of myself. It was organized. I found it, but I had to scan it in and send it because they have to, do something they needed the original. But I did it myself. And it was, what was the catalyst for that was Dule Hill.
I know Dule Hill.
He's the best. My big bro, Dule, who's a phenomenal
awesome
tap dancer.
Yes. He
was like, I want to donate to the DC Tap Fest. Mm-hmm. I was like, amazing. He was like, I'm going to donate. It was $5,000, biggest donation ever. I said, awesome. He was like, my accountant just needs to know your nonprofit. I was like, I was like, we ain't got all that yet. I was like, please give me some time. Right. I was like, please give me some time. I ain't never applied for something so quick in my life. It was also the hardest thing I've ever done. I have a full Ivy League education. This was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
It's a process that you kind of have to go through if you want to be an entrepreneur. Absolutely.
I hated every moment of it. I was like, I wish Howard Richardson could just hire a lawyer to do this because, lawyers usually do this for you. And I'm sitting there like, this document and this. So we send it in. I submit it. So I tell Julie, I'm like, I submitted it. Now I have to wait. Mm-hmm. I called the IRS every single day.
Because they're slow. Because again,
they're
paper.
slow. I called them every single day. And I said, and I just pleaded everybody I spoke to. I said, I just have this donation on the line. And it's really going to be really helpful for these kids. I'm trying to help. Can you please, every day. One day this woman said, I don't know who you are, but I've never seen anything pushed through so quickly. I'm mailing your letter of determination today. It was April 13th. I will never forget. And then I called Dule.
How long did it ultimately? Because they'll tell you now, if you apply for a nonprofit now, they'll tell you like 6 to 9 months.
I think it took 2. I called every day. I was not playing games. The IRS was in my phone. Like that number for the IRS.
Whatever number you had that was going to get you somebody.
To the letter of determination. And I called Dule. I said, Dule, I have the thing you need. And he sent the check.
While we're giving Dule flowers, can I tell you a Dule story?
Yes, I love Dule stories.
Okay, so Dule's daughter went to the school I currently went to the school I currently work at. And again, by that point, everybody knew Dule from like West Wing. But again, I watch Tap. So I know Dule from that world, right? Savion Glover and this Dule Hill, and he's doing his thing. It's like, oh, these young tap people. I wish I could tap. And so he's new at the school, and I was like, we can't not let these kids know that Dule Hill is, on campus and around. So for our Black Leadership and Awareness Culture Club meeting, I asked him, I said, Dule, would you be interested perhaps in coming to a meeting doing a tap dance thing? Because we had a young lady who was a dancer as well, and I just knew that it would make her world. And so he was like, sure. He came, he brought his shoes and a paper bag, he did the thing, we showed a little video, and he ended up tap dancing with that young lady who was a dancer. Like, I still have the video. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
Awesome. And it was one of those things, because there'll be certain things that like on our campus, like, oh no, that's just for the Black people. This was one that where people were like, oh no, I wish I could have gone to that. Like, they could have, they just chose not to. But
they blocked their blessing.
But he was, I tell that story because often people of status, will be like, I ain't doing that.
Dule always shows up. Always.
Every time I've called, that's for sure.
Always.
Shout out Dulé. I don't know which camera we're on, but
shout out Dulé. We love you.
And Jasmine.
Yes. Shout out Jasmine. And congrats on the book. I think, but you know what? Shout out to you as an educator, because I think, like what you said, people don't realize you said, and there was a young lady who was a dancer, and I thought this could be nice for her. Educators go so above and beyond. That is not in your job description. You are not getting paid to do some extra thing off-site. I mean, off your work time to call in a favor from a famous person. And shout out to educators, because, and you clearly are a phenomenal one, because you also listened to what your student said. It registered in your head, and you're like, how can I help this student take that extra step or get that extra inspiration? And so, thank you.
You're quite welcome. But back to your foundation and all the help that you give to the young people. So, you got it through very quickly. What was the mission at the time as you had to write it out? Because, they make you write all these things.
Back then, the mission was to revive and revitalize the traditional African-American art form of tap dance, and provide arts education to at the time, underprivileged. We don't say underprivileged anymore, but like underprivileged, under-resourced or underserved communities. The only reason I even remember that is because I just was looking at it like yesterday. But now the mission it's pretty much the same, but we're just expanding. We have programs in schools now. I think sometimes, and I'm sure you do this too, when you're a giver, you don't qualify how much you're giving. And you don't label it, because it's just, giving is so innate. You know how many times I've helped kids write essays for college and written recommendations, and spent an hour longer at the dance class mentoring a kid who was struggling with whatever. And so one of our goals this year with the foundation is to label all of those things and then offer them as programming. So like college prep programming, mentorship, job training. I've helped kids write their resumes, but these are things just because we give and we give. Right. But then what I find is that you miss out on like potential funding or potential opportunities, because sometimes when I'm talking about I have an arts foundation, people are like, we're only interested in doing like STEM or tech. Right. And I'm like, don't you know that all of this fuels all of that? Right. Whoever's writing code, they're an artist, they're a nerd, but that's an artist's brain to create. Absolutely. And to envision something. And also, what's pushing the biggest tech platform right now? TikTok, dance. Absolutely. So when people don't find that connection, what I realize is you have to make the connection for them. Absolutely. Because most people are not visionaries and have no vision. And it is our job to explain and show the vision, so that then we can make that vision and that dream happen for others. And so I think sometimes we just discount what we do because it's just so natural and we love it. But I think that's one of my goals this year as an educator, is to find that out. And I'm in an incubator right now for my nonprofit, and I'm learning a lot.
Oh, there we go. So let's make sure we have all the context. The name of the foundation is?
The name of the foundation is the Chloe and Maud Foundation. Mm-hmm. And we just celebrated our 10th year as an official 501c3, but we have been doing nonprofit work for the last 17 years. And we just had our inaugural gala a month ago.
First one.
Our first ever gala.
Okay, so I'm going to stick a pin in that. I want to hear about the gala. But I first want to hear, what is on the ground your programming look like? So you're at a school. You mentioned you're at a school.
So we're at several schools. Uh-huh. So in really exciting news, we just got in the BSAP programming, the Black Student Achievement Programming with LAUSD. We just got on the art bench with LAUSD. I just signed the contract yesterday for that. And we have after school program called Tap Into Life, where the kids learn tap dance, life skills, mm-hmm. and they have a guided journal. So Chloe and I wrote a guided journal for young people. So they guided journal, and then they do presentations throughout the year. And then we also have a program called Unity Moves that I created with my brother, and it's fitness and dance. And that is after school and in school hours as well. So that's our after school programs. We have them here in LA and in New York City, which is really exciting. We're looking to expand into DC. And then we have the DC Tap Festival that we have every Labor Day. We have the Hollywood Tap Festival that we co-produce with Debbie Allen and the Debbie Allen Dance Academy. That this summer will be the third year. We have Soul Talk. Because I need to make sure that is in July. Okay. I'll text you the info.
Yes, please.
It's really fun. And then we have Soul Talk Youth, which is a company. We have 120 members. It's a national company. We meet once a month for 5 hours. If you're not in LA, you can meet on Zoom. And this is for like the kids who are really pushing to take tap to the next level. And then we have Syncopated Ladies Empowerment Camps, which are female forward camps where you learn beyond dance, but also life skills, self-esteem, social media safety and health and all of that stuff. And then we also have we do a lot of stuff. We also have, why am I blanking? I do the payroll. I write the programming. I do the curriculum. I want to shout out, though, my team, Liz, who helps with all of the graphic design, and she does something. She's like, for lack of better words, like chief of staff. And then Amber, who is our treasurer and bookkeeper and just the best. And so, but I would say the bulk of the work is on me. And I'm trying to change
and you guys
that.
Do all of the teaching, though?
So, no, we don't do all the teaching. Okay, Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the kids, but I can't. No. So our teacher for Tap Into Life, our main teacher is Miss Giselle.
Okay.
She's the best. She's from Brazil. We met her. She was on scholarship through the foundation 15 years ago. Now she's a syncopated lady. She tours with us. She's a thriving working artist. She just got her green card. And yeah, she's rocking it out. And she's from, a super impoverished neighborhood in Brazil. And it's almost impossible to make it as a dancer, particularly a Black dancer. And now she's thriving. She supports her mom back in Brazil from tap dance.
And is that how you got to end up in Brazil?
The way my Brazil connection is actually, shout out to, again, a pivotal educator in my life, Miss Denise Benskin, who was my 11th grade French teacher at Duke Ellington. There was a program called Experiment in International Learning, and she nominated me for a scholarship. And you got to pick, like, there was this booklet, and it was the year that Pharrell and Snoop Dogg Beautiful video came out, and I said, I want to go there. And Brazil was one of the places. I said, I want to go there.
That was a good video.
Phenomenal video. And I got a full scholarship, and I got to go and change my life. I remember emailing my mom from an internet cafe and was like, these are my people. When they look at you, they smile. They ask you how you're doing. They're joyful. They're kind. And I said, I will return here one day. I was 17. I remember. And my first international gig was in 2009. I got invited to teach at a tap festival called the Brazil International Tap Festival with Cristiane Matalo. And I've been to Brazil now over 25 times. I have 3 after-school programs in favelas there that are thriving. Tap Into Life is thriving there. I have over 200 students in those programs, and I'm going next month. I can't wait. And it's a dream. It's crazy to think, I'm not rich. I'm rich in spirit, and I'm rich in purpose, and I'm rich in joy. I'm not financially rich yet. And it's insane the impact that my sister and I have been able to have on thousands of people's lives without a ton of resources. And I say that to say, people think you have to get rich and then wait to start giving back. And it's like, nah, you can give back while you climb. It'll be a slower climb to your wealth or your richness, but God forbid I die tomorrow. And I don't want to die tomorrow, let me be very clear. But I'm very proud of the work that I have done and continue to do. And there was this very viral thing going around recently, and I really respect the woman who was saying it. She's a Black businesswoman, and she was like, everybody wants to start a nonprofit. Don't start a nonprofit. Nonprofits are for rich people to start. And I'm here to say I fully disagree. Nonprofits are what you start when there's something you want to change, and maybe you don't have the resources to do it. You don't give up on that dream. If I waited to be rich, do you know that there would be
the gap? Yeah.
So many kids who didn't make it to Broadway.
Correct.
Who didn't go to Yale on full scholarship because I was worried about becoming rich on my own first. The list of the kids and the people that are thriving. One of my little brother, he's not my blood brother, but for all intents and purposes, Alaman Jaju, he's now playing Michael Jackson on tour of the Broadway show. He graduated Yale with honors, you know? And it's like, he had big sisters, me and Chloe. He saw us. He was on scholarship at the first DC Tap Fest. Like, none of this is by coincidence. And Debbie Allen brought us together. So it's like, don't wait. I hate that. I hate that idea of waiting till I'm rich.
I would reframe that comment to nonprofits are mission-driven work. You know?
Thank you.
So if you have the mission and the passion, then you have to do it because you see a hole or a gap that has to be filled. And if you wait till you're rich, the water's still coming through the gap. You know.
And I think last night I cooked for my friends. That's the other thing I like to do. I like to cook, and I love when my friends request my food because it makes me feel really good about myself. So I cooked my homegirls dinner, and they work in various fields. And one of them said to Chloe and I, how do y'all stay so grounded in entertainment when you're forward facing to like not use Ozempic, to not get plastic surgery, to just not like lose yourselves in this, you know, Hollywood, da 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 da. And Chloe last night was like, it's the kids. Kids keep you grounded. Kids remind you of what's important. Yeah. Chloe was like, I would be remiss to go spend $20,000 on plastic surgery, and I know that kid needs his teeth fixed because his teeth are rotting, and I know that kid needs whatever surgery. She was like, kids remind you of the truth and of your purpose. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people that are lost in this world of like, it's just narcissism.
Right.
When's the last time you volunteered? Literally, when people call me, they're like, I'm really struggling. How do you stay so happy? I'm like, go volunteer. Go find a kid. Go help somebody. You will be reminded of your own purpose. And really, when you give back, you get more. At the end of the day, it's like, I feel very selfish. Not really, but like after I work with my kids, I'm on a high.
Absolutely.
You know how it feels.
Absolutely. The affirmation that you get from seeing a kid move forward, take a step, make a discovery. Yeah, it is very much an endorphin high, much like when you work out. Absolutely.
It's the best. It's the best drug is to watch somebody's growth and know that maybe you had a little part to help make that happen. It's the greatest drug. And people are on all these other drugs, and people need to try the good drug because that, and then the world will be better. You know, I'm a strong believer in the African proverb, each one teach one. Mm-hmm. And if everybody subscribe to that, well, let me tell you, the world will look a lot different.
Be a lot less divided too, because you wouldn't necessarily be teaching people that. Anyway, in the universe of things that you've talked about, we've kind of glossed over the syncopated ladies part, which kind of, in my understanding, kind of undergirds a lot.
It does. It's how we fund all this.
Yeah. So break down what the syncopated lady is, because that's that's the engine of some of the other things.
So that's what I forgot to mention. Syncopated ladies.
That's how you know I've been paying attention.
Thank you. The Chloe and Maud Foundation. Also, thank you. I feel very special that you know about my little life. The Syncopated Ladies tour is now going to be produced by the Chloe and Maud Foundation.
Okay.
Because, we give so many free tickets in cities to like youth groups and schools, and we also do a lot of free workshops. And so we were like, it makes more sense to pivot this way because we're doing this foundation work. They also have, because Chloe and I executive produce this tour. Mm-hmm. So we paying for it.
Yeah.
And there are also like grant opportunities for theater shows. Like Alvin Ailey is a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of these big dance companies and stuff are nonprofit. So that's our newest branch. But the Syncopated Ladies, Chloe started it in 2003. So this was our 20th anniversary of Syncopated Ladies as well. And it just started out as like, we performed once a year at a dance festival, and some of the original members were like in high school at the time. And then Chloe worked with Beyonce. Shout out Beyonce because she's amazing. And Chloe worked with Beyonce in production on like a video. Mm-hmm. And Chloe came home and was like, I want to rock out like Beyonce does, but in our tap shoes. So we took money on a credit card and we shot a video. The first video we shot was to Rihanna's Where Have You Been All My Life? Well, at the time, it went viral for what viral was at the time. There was no such thing as viral. It had 43,000 views. But people
YouTube.
On YouTube.
There we go.
Because there was no Facebook video. There was no Instagram. This was...
No Reels, no TikTok, none of that.
No. And the word viral wasn't even a thing. We were like, wow, so many people watched our video.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like viral was a disease, you know? And so, but we saw like people were watching in Dubai. Like a woman had come to our DC Tap Fest. She's like, I saw y'all's video. I live in Dubai. And then I Googled you and I saw you have this tap festival. So I came. to like our second tap festival. And then that went well. And then we said, oh, we shot another video because Keenan Ivory Wayans was gonna bring back Living Color, and we were like, we should be like the Tap Fly Girls,
of course.
So we did a little video for that, but then that never happened.
I hope people are gonna look up and Google all of these cool references that we're giving. So we've done Tap, we've talked about Fame. You definitely should know
in Living Color.
Absolutely.
And then we did another video, scraped our money together. Really was Chloe's money. God bless her. She had a vision and she invested all of her money. And we did a video because we had worked with Beyonce again. And she just made us feel so good.
Right.
And so it was called A Salute to Beyonce. It said, thank you. And we just did a video to one of her songs. She shared it on her Facebook. But this, again, before Facebook video. It was a link to a YouTube on Facebook. And she wrote, they killed it. We started getting like calls to do like interviews and, you know, like on blogs and stuff. And then we just started, you know, creating more. And then 3 years later, we did Formation. It was when she did the Super Bowl. And Chloe was like, you know, that just like galvanized Black women. We were like, oh my God, we have to do, I mean, she had the Black Panther reference. We were like, we have to do something. And so we shot the Formation video. And I said to Chloe, I was like, she's going to share it. Chloe was like, I don't think she's going to share it. And again, we weren't doing it for her to share it. Because it was after we shot the video and I watched it. I was like, she's going to share it. And Chloe was like, I don't think so. Like, she's already done so much for us when she shared that first one. And I was like, also, I think I'm psychic sometimes. That's a whole nother thing, but it's hilarious. And I'll just predict goodness in your life. And I was like, no, Chloe, she's going to share it. I was like, I feel it in my spirit. And Chloe was like, I really don't think so. And I was like, I know she is. A week later, we woke up. Beyonce.com. It says, Syncopated Ladies, watch this. She had it on her homepage for 3 weeks. It was us. And it went like insanely viral. And then honestly, we haven't stopped working since then. It's the Beyonce effect. Talk about uplifting Black women.
Absolutely.
You know,
I always love when I go to a Beyonce concert and the production is ridiculous. Always. Like, I mean, decades now. But the thing that I always love is the all-female band.
Because what people don't realize, and even if you don't, obviously you're intelligent and you've like made a note, you noticed it and like registered it, but it's such a subconscious boss move too. Because if you're a little girl in the audience, you see that woman playing that phenomenal. Remember that woman that played the piano? Yeah. And like the women on the horns.
Exactly. Those are the ones. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I can do this too.
And on this last tour, one of them was pregnant.
I was like, I mean, I've never been pregnant before. I'm like, how? Yeah. This is already so hard.
Exactly. These are high energy shows. You can't just be sitting there.
And touring is hard. Yeah. Like on the bus, you're not eating at home. You're not in the bathtub. I was like, women are phenomenal.
It's incredible.
Beyonce has 3 kids. She's on tour every night. Like, it's very inspiring. So shout out to Beyonce. So Syncopated Ladies, we're thriving. It's amazing. We're making history. No other female tap dancers. You and your sister, no, there's actually 10 of us.
Squad.
There's a whole squad. And what's amazing is that these women are able to sustain themselves financially via the work we get them, which is amazing.
It's got to feel almost as good as the drug of seeing the kid.
It is, because a lot of them were kids when we met them. I was a kid, and we grew up poor. And like I said, I'm not rich, but I'm doing well. Like, I'm doing very well. I'm thriving.
When you're thriving when you can have a gala. So let's get back to that. What does the gala look like? Is there performances?
So the reason we waited so long is because galas are expensive.
Yes, they are. Just threw one myself.
It's obscene how expensive they are. So we did it at our house.
Okay.
One of Chloe's old tap students from Debbie Allen Dance Academy, Melissa Harvey of the Goldwyn Group, she volunteered her time and her brilliant services to us. She's a phenomenal event planner.
Okay.
Phenomenal. Like, she does big, famous people all the time. And she turned our home into a beautiful space. Our caterer was Chef Elisa from My Two Cents. Phenomenal. We had a brunch. She made shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, quinoa scramble.
We're going to get that information because I'm hungry.
Oh, no, it's still it. Oh, you don't know about My Two Cents?
No. Am I missing out?
I don't even know how to like.
You know about this? Okay. So I'm not the only one.
Oh my God, Chef Elisa Reynolds.
Okay.
First of all, she's one of the greatest people ever you'll ever meet. She's from LA. Her restaurant, My Two Cents, right on Pico, is phenomenal, and it's also makes you feel good. Every time, like, let's say you were sad one day and you need to pick me up, go to my 2 cents. Not only are you going to eat good, they're going to make you feel good about your life again.
Okay.
I don't know how or why, but they do it. It always, you just leave feeling like both full in stomach and full in spirit.
You can taste the heart that the food is made with. Good soul food.
Exactly. Because you know what else? At Gallus, the food usually sucks.
Yes.
And
that's why I had to stop, because I was like, as someone who throws Gallus, it's like,
oh no, you need to hire Chef Elisa.
Piece. Like, people sit down, you can make them feel good with it, but if they don't have a good meal, yeah.
Oh no, everybody loved the food. And then we have a dance studio at our house, and so that was the stage. So shout out to my brother D Smoke, who performed.
Inglewood's finest.
Yes, D Smoke performed, and then our kids performed, and then also my dear friend Cindy Winters, who's a Broadway star. She performed, and she performed. I had a special request for her. She didn't know until afterwards that it was my personal request. It was my selfish request, because she does a one-woman Lena Horne show, and I wanted her to sing "Believe in Yourself" from The Wiz. Again, great reference. Watch The Wiz.
Watch The Wiz.
Whenever I'm feeling any type of like I don't want to call it self-doubt, but you know, on those days when you're just like not feeling fully like rah, right. I listen to that song, and it changes my day immediately. And so she sang that song. I did cry at that moment, because I was like, I can't believe this. My friend Samuel, who owns a phenomenal pastry chef and has a bakery. He's from Paris. His brother from Paris. He donated croissants. And Sassoon Produce donated all this incredible, delicious, exotic produce. And my friends came through. They cut the fruit. They did all the setup. Like, when I say my village came through, and my homegirls are not bums. Like, they are all high-powered, busy, right. So very busy women.
Yeah, they had to take the
time. They
time.
spend their entire Sunday with us. And then, of course, our youth who benefit from the foundation performed as well.
Awesome.
It was a perfect event. It was perfect. And it was the first one. And it was like 10 days after the election. And so, was it as lucrative as I thought it was going to be, or maybe had hoped? No, because I think people were still kind of like depressed.
People were down.
But it was the best. And we ripped the Band-Aid off, and it was the inaugural, and we're going to do it again next year. And everybody left like, this was the best day. We had a DJ, our brother, DJ B. Mitch, and then surprised us with a $5,000 donation. He was our DJ. Like, I mean, like when I say...
That's how you know that people have seen the vision, though. Because when they're there giving their service, but then they also, throw in the hat.
It was crazy. And oh my gosh, I have to send you the videos. One of our students, Dylan, it was, you may have seen it on my Instagram. He came in a suit. He's 7, full suit, missing tooth. And he spoke so eloquently. Our other students asked Chloe, Miss Chloe, can we please talk to the people that are here? Chloe said, you want to mingle? Can we please mingle? Everybody was like, I don't know how y'all train these kids, but I had a full conversation with an 8-year-old and was enthralled. And I was like, what we're doing is working. Like, and you just look around and you're like, and my mom flew in from DC. It was a flawless event. It was soulful. It was fun. We raised some money, and everybody felt good and ate good.
That's a good day, especially for a brunch.
It was a brunch, and it was outside, and it was at our house, because a location alone can run you $30K. So we did it at our home.
That's where you start.
And again, shout out to D Smoke, because his sheer presence elevates the entire event. He's fully famous, and he's like, I believe in what y'all do. I'm like, my brother. And that's why when people talk about like allyship and, and like showing up for your friends, it's like, show up. I'm such a believer in showing up.
It means something.
It really does. Even if you ain't got no money, show up, share something. Like on Instagram, and it's like, you don't have to buy from your friends, but like share it on your Instagram, recommend it to somebody, even if you can't support it.
Absolutely.
It means something.
You ask a friend to share the story, and they're like, yeah, I get to it. And then it's like, yeah, that's tough.
But you know what? I've gotten really good at asking, because I used to just be like, I'm independent. I'd not be asking people for things. And I tell Chloe's like, you just be asking. And I'm like, you know what? Because I would give it to them. And it's better for me to know where I stand with this person.
100%.
Because, when you're a giver, and I am a giver, what I've realized in this last 6 months is givers give and takers take.
Yep.
And takers have no limit. and givers don't either. And so it's like, I believe as a community, we should use each other, but we shouldn't abuse each other. So like, you're building your school.
Yes.
I want, when it comes time, I'm gonna be like, hey, can I help with the arts curriculum or the dance curriculum? Or can I come in? Do you need any help coming in?
Tap dancers at the gala next year. That's already stored in my head. Like I
got you.
Yeah, we're there already.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what we should be doing in building community. Absolutely. And I just, sometimes it's disheartening to hear like how people perceive things or just people's selfishness. I feel like we just live in a world of such narcissism and selfishness now. And it's sad, but I mean, my little bubble world is like joyful and kid filled and fun filled. And it's hard, but it's the work that matters. Like our kids at one of my schools, they pass by prostitutes every day to get to school who are nearly butt naked. I have seen like everything. Yeah. And we're talking 8 a.m., 4 p.m., 2 p.m., whatever. And those young women are between the ages, they start at age 11.
Right.
My kids are 5 at that school, 5 to 10. And I know definitively that our programs in this school is helping those kids stay off that street. Mm-hmm. And that alone, I'll stay up all night and write any grant. I'll ask anybody for money. I'll go up to anybody and say, when we first started DC Tap Fest, we would go to the club. And because we'd be home, and the guy would be like, can I buy you a drink? I'd be like, no, but you can buy a ticket to the DC Tap Festival. It's only $25. And they'd be like, what? And I was like, I don't drink alcohol, but you can buy a ticket. And it would literally be in that moment, like, is this even a man I would want to date or not?
But if you can't give.
I stopped dating a dude because he wasn't charitable. And it wasn't even to my foundation. He just in general. And I was like,
believe in.
He did. I am not like an arguer or like a fighter. I'm a debater. I have never like gone in on a man like this that I dated in my entire life. And I was like, thank God Venus and Serena weren't around somebody like you with little vision and no generosity.
Can see why that was it. Let's cleanse the palate. Let's end on a good note. Top Chloe and Maud highlight experiences, because you've had many.
Okay, highlight experiences. My God, every day. But okay, in 2019, we performed at Folsom State Prison for Represent Justice with Kristen Ingram and Scott Budnick. And it was for 800 brothers. And it was one of the best. I'm getting emotional. At the end, why am I so emotional today?
It's my unique capabilities as an interviewer.
Is some of the brothers came up to us at the end and said, I don't know what is going on. He said, when you danced, I felt free.
See, I didn't know where that was going when you said we performed at a penitentiary as your highlight. But I mean, you can't argue with that. We're going to end right there. Like, I don't need to say anything else. We will clip it. We'll do the intros and yeah.
Thank you for having me.